It's your turn to be afraid.
Hey guys, doing something a little different today instead of regular gaming shenanigans. Remember to subscribe and keep up to date with our latest gaming antics. My old Lenovo was starting to really burn out on a regular basis, so it was time to replace it. Cue an unboxing video. I'll share the specs on the screen so you can pause if you want. I needed something that could hold up over time, so I went for Lenovo's latest offering in the gaming series, the Legion Y720. The laptop itself is pretty well protected, which is always a relief to see when having it delivered by courier. There's an external DVD combo drive, which is always handy to have, but seldom gets used. The power adapter is pretty huge, but given the spec of this machine, it's not surprising it would need that bit more power. Of course we have the usual leaflets and whatnot, but overall there wasn't too much junk actually in the box. I kinda prefer this no nonsense, straight to the point approach. You can see the Legion logo on the back of the laptop on a cross-hatched carbon fibre pattern on the laptop lid. The body is aluminium, which is something I tend to prefer for that extra bit of durability. Then we have a bass subwoofer on the bottom. My old Lenovo had a very similar version to this, and it really helps give a better all-round sound. There's a lot of protective film around the speakers, vents and so on, so make sure you manage to get it all before you turn the machine on. As you can see, there's a little bit of flex around the screen, which is a matte finish 1080p IPS display, but overall it's pretty solid. I decided to test the startup speeds between my old Lenovo Y720 and the Y720. I'd actually started the old laptop just before the Y720, but this gives you a general idea of how much faster it is. Software and startup wise, at this point both machines pretty much have the same setup. The Y720 comes with just about everything you will need. 3 USB 3.0 ports, 1 mini USB, a Thunderbolt port, a 720p webcam, HDMI and Ethernet. This time Lenovo chose to go with a headset microphone combo jack. There's a backlit anti-ghosting keyboard which is super comfortable to use, and the touchpad is the perfect size and feels really durable. A nice feature of course is the built-in wireless support for Xbox One controller. On the back we have a solid hinge and much improvement on the rear cooling vents. A surprising feature that I wasn't aware of was an extra key on the keyboard that interacts directly with the Lenovo NerveSense software to instantly start recording your screen. This is a great feature whether it's for presentations or capturing that perfect gaming moment. All the game footage in this video was captured using this feature. For the most part I'm a developer and a jack of all trades. I tend to work with large code repositories and sometimes cumbersome databases, so when it comes to a workstation, I need something that can handle just about everything I can throw at it. This laptop truly delivers on that. I've had no issues working in these environments at all. The laptop barely shows any sign of strain. One example was a database import that normally takes about 25 minutes. When I did the import on the 720, this took less than 5 minutes. In terms of workflow and time frames, this is a huge plus for me and a gold star for the Y720. It has also been able to handle pretty much every bit of design work and video editing so far, though I have noticed that when I'm using large video files stored on the secondary hard drive, I can audibly hear the strain from the drive. In terms of gaming, I have been really impressed. Pretty much all games run on ultra settings, given a minimum of 60 frames per second. For example, Overwatch runs on ultra settings, averaging around 70 to 80 frames per second. Games like BIOSHOCK Infinite were easily running on ultra settings with 100 to 120 frames per second. Temperature wise, it felt pretty balanced and comfortable. The cooling system in the Y720 seems to do a really great job. Now, I feel the video editor that I'm using to make this video has taken some of the genuine quality away from the following game clips when they were combined. But it should be enough to give you a good idea of just how nice the Y720 really performs. Overall, the Y720 is a really impressive laptop, and Lenovo have really stepped up their game with the Legion brand. We'll start with the cons first, as it's always good to end on a high note. The design. Personally, I'm a fan of the black and red, but I could see the design not being to everyone's taste, so if black and red isn't your thing, this will probably irritate you. Next up, fingerprints. I knew this would be an issue before I purchased it, as my old Lenovo had the exact same issue. This thing is an absolute fingerprint magnet. A bit of cleaning from time to time gets around this, but the slightest touch on that lid and that fingerprint will be there for a while. Next up, we have the second hard drive. Given that this is a high performance laptop, I feel like Lenovo could have given that last push. 5400 speed hard drives with today's standards just feels a little lackluster. This could be unique to my particular model with other options available, but I could hear the hard drive really strain at points when working with larger video files. It's certainly not a deal breaker, but given it's the main storage area as opposed to the 256GB SSD, a little more oomph would have been nice. Okay, so with the cons out of the way, let's talk about the positives. This thing handles beautifully. The battery life is reasonable and the viewing angles on the IPS display are faultless. The sound with the Dolby Atmos and JBL speakers is truly impressive. It really blew me away. This laptop can handle everything that's work, rest and play with ease, and it barely breaks a sweat. It really has improved my workflow for timelines, development work massively. No more waiting while the system grinds through all its resources into a large import or running some local virtual setup. Most of the game will play on ultra settings with ease and give a truly enjoyable experience. Another thing to note is the wireless card in this laptop has great signal, and I could use the Wi-Fi with ease from the furthest room of the house. The recording feature is a really nice touch. It's great for getting those presentations, walkthroughs of the software, and of course gaming videos. It's so simple to use. You just tap the button and record, tap it again to stop. For the price tag of the Lenovo Y720, you really get a lot of bang for your buck. While it's more expensive than your average laptop, it really gives strong competition to its high-end competitors at a much more reasonable price. Would I recommend this laptop? Definitely. If it's within your price range and you want a solid gaming laptop that can handle just about anything, this is well worth the money. One side note I would mention in relation to Nvidia cards too is an issue I've come up against in the past. I noticed this happen while I was recording Titanfall 2. The game just will not run properly at all. It's a pretty simple fix though. You just right click on the desktop, go to the Nvidia control panel, make sure that the 3D settings and physics settings are changed to your Nvidia graphics processor. This should iron out any pesky issues you have with this. This laptop is VR ready too, but I currently don't have the means to test it. So, what's your thoughts on this laptop? If you have one, have you tried it with VR and can you fill in the blanks? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like this video if you found it helpful and subscribe for more regular gaming content with our usual nonsense.